All right, Speaker Johnson has rage quit another vote as some dissent in the Republican House seems to be appearing. So this is from Politico. House GOP cancels budget vote as hardliners agitate for more spending cuts in Trump's beautiful bill. And the saddest thing is, it's not because they're like, hey, we're cutting too much, or hey, this is going to be too devastating. It's, we're not cutting enough. Oh, geez. uh, House Republican leaders cancel a vote on the Senate budget resolution Wednesday night as Speaker Johnson came to terms with what had been clear for many hours. Too many Republicans would vote in opposition, and the measure was bound to fail. House GOP leaders continue to meet with holdouts late Wednesday and are considering tweaks to get fiscal hawks on board with the budget framework essential to passing President Donald Trump's legislative agenda. But that outcome is a brutal blow for House GOP leaders and the president, who has spent days trying to wrangle the votes for the fiscal blueprint. I bet none of these so-called fiscal hawks are voting against it because of our increases to the military. No, they probably want even more to the military and even deeper in non-defense cuts. These people are psychotic, man. They are psychotic. The canceled vote followed hours of suspense as more than a dozen holdouts met off the floor with Johnson and House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, while a vote on a completely separate measure was held open for well over an hour. The evening votes had already been delayed as the House and hardliners were busy back-channeling with Senate Republicans to sketch out deeper spending cuts. I just got off the phone with President Trump, and he wants us to get it done, but we're going to rework things, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene told reporters as she left a meeting with House leaders that prompted the decision to call off the vote. The fact that Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene gets to speak with Trump directly and it's just casual, that like, hey, I just got off the phone with the president, is terrifying. Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I think a lot of Republicans agree with this, is batshit crazy, to say the least. She like casually appeared on Alex Jones. Like, she's crazy. She is insane. Johnson told reporters that there was a small subset of Republican lawmakers opposed to the measure, which Republicans need to adopt in order to unlock the filibuster, skirting power to enact a package of tax cuts, military spending, energy policy, border security investments, and more along the party lines this year. But even a handful of opponents can sink a partisan bill, given the House GOP's exceedingly narrow majority. I'm very optimistic about the outcome of this one big, beautiful bill, and this is just one of the steps in getting there, the speaker said. Johnson and House leadership will explore either amending the Senate adopted budget or going straight to conference with the other chamber and working out differences there. One option is adopting an amendment from Representative Wade Smucker that would ensure Republicans have to enact corresponding spending cuts to offset any tax cuts in a final package. Another option is forcing a level of certain spending cuts in the package. Lawmakers are slated to head back to their districts Thursday for a 2-week recess, meaning that the president may have to wait to see any forward motion on his big, beautiful bill, but Johnson told reporters Wednesday night that if we have to come back next week, then we'll do that. Wow. Remember, folks, look at the speed that Congress will move and what they will do in order to do bad things. We'll never see this kind of motion, controversy, or willing to fight for a bill for a higher minimum wage, free healthcare, better infrastructure, like none of that. Anything to improve your actual living standard? No. Only things that cut crucial government programs and increase military spending. Trump was already bragging how he's going to have like a $1 trillion military budget once this is all said and done. What happened to deficit hawking? We don't need more money going to the Pentagon. You know where there's a lot of waste, fraud, abuse, corruption? It's at the Pentagon. They can't account for like 60% of the money they've spent. And that doesn't concern you. It concerns you when the Social Security Administration's audited, they have less than 1% fraud. But when the Pentagon can't account for over 60% of their spending, it's whatever. They can't account for their money. We should just give them more money. Republicans, wake up, please. Please. Democrats are guilty of this too, although they aren't as big on cutting. But they definitely do enjoy increasing defense spending. Don't get me wrong. But like, just please wake up. None of these politicians, none of them, except for like 4 of them, are your friends. And that's like AOC, Bernie, Al Green at this point. People who are actually fighting for you. People who fight for better healthcare. People who fight for a higher minimum wage. People who fight for free healthcare. People who fight to restore the NLRB for unions. People who fight for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is meant to keep you, the consumer, protected from fraud. But no, like, we're just gonna pretend that I just can't. I don't even know where I was. Adoption of, I think I see here. No. Some Republicans are holding out hope that there could be a breakthrough before lawmakers leave for the first time at home, though Representative Rich McCormick of Georgia, one of the GOP lawmakers opposed to the Senate budget's framework, told reporters Wednesday night, I think we'll have a more conservative alternative tomorrow. Adoption of... Rich McCormick, by the way, is the dude who was like... They were like, yeah, like Republican... Like, he was asked in a news interview, they're like, yeah, Republicans are trying to, like, cut free school breakfast and lunch. Like, why are you guys doing that? And he's like, well, back in my day, I worked, like, 8 hours a day after school, and I bought my own lunch. It's like, bro, you're in school. You're a child or a teen in school. Like, you should be focusing on your education, not being like, yeah, I think children should work. God. Like, it's not the 1800s anymore. Like, I'm sorry. Adoption of identical budget resolutions in both the House and Senate is an essential step to allowing committees to start drafting and passing the party line package. And if the House amends the Senate revamped budget framework, senators would have to endure a third all-night amendment voting session just to approve the budget before holding another voting spree to pass the final bill. Across the Capitol, Senate Majority Leader John Thune wasn't enthused about the idea. No, we can't do that. Another vote-a-rama that drags it on indefinitely. I think everybody realizes that we're at that time and we've got to move. The Senate Majority Leader also met with a group of House fiscal hawks earlier in the evening about their concerns in an attempt to break the impasse and have them approve the Senate's product. Afterwards, describing the confab as a really good back and forth and constructive. All we can do is make sure they understand where we are coming from and how closely we want to work with them to get the final product, Thune told reporters Wednesday night. Thune said he didn't make any commitment to enacting $2 trillion in spending cuts to safety net programs in the final bill. However, which some House fiscal hawks are insisting on, I didn't say anything quite like that. Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso, who was also in a meeting with the fiscal hawks, sought to project unity. Republicans in the Senate, Republicans in the House are all on the same page. We are all committed to serious and significant savings. But many House Republicans are not pleased with the alterations made in the Senate, where GOP leaders are calling for at least $4 billion in savings in a final package, while the House sets a mandate of $1.5 trillion to $2 trillion in spending cuts to balance tax cuts. See, this is one of those things where it's like, we aren't trying to cut Medicare, bro. We ain't trying to cut Medicaid. Look at the bill. It's not in there. It's not in there. When you're asking for 1.5 to 2 trillion in spending cuts, sorry, the math, you can pretend that Medicaid doesn't need to be cut, but in order to meet your own goal, it has to be. It has to be. They either know that and don't care, or they're just that dumb. We just don't trust the Senate. Representative Kevin Hern, chair of the House Republican Policy Committee, said in a brief interview this week, it just seems very unserious that they want to control the deficits in this country. Yeah, so trouble in paradise, but it's not like we have a couple of Republicans who are like, hey, I'm really concerned about some of these cuts and how they could affect like programs that really help people like Medicare and Medicaid, because that's really popular across the board. No, it's because, hey, we need to cut more, dog. We need to cut more, and we need to spend more on the military and border security. Like, you instantly lose all credibility as a deficit hawk, as a fiscal hawk, or anything like that when you are proposing cuts to non-defense spending, to programs that help the everyday American, but you want to increase military spending and border spending and speed up the mass deportation spending. Like, sorry, you've lost me. You've lost me. You are not principled. You don't give a damn about the deficit. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.